So our space adventure projects are starting to come along. Our main Swift file creates a space adventure and starts it, and the start method calls three different methods to get information from our user and hopefully get us started. Well, in our space adventure project, we're probably going to want to visit some different planets. And since most planets are in a planetary system, we need a way to model both a planetary system and a set of planets. We're going to start by modeling the planetary system first. So we're going to go ahead and actually create a new file. So I'm going to hit Command N for new file. I'm going to use a new Swift file. And we're going to call it planetary system. And again, make sure it's in the Space Adventure group. We'll hit create. And now we have a blank planetary system file. Let's go ahead and create the outline of the class. So class planetary system. Again, using capital camel case, first letter capitalized, and subsequent words are capitalized. Then I put in my curly braces, and I've defined a planetary system. Well, a planetary system is going to have certain properties or things about that class. And one was probably a name, like the solar system or Crab Nebula, but it'll have subname. So we're going to say the name of our class, and we're going to say that it is a string. Okay? We're going to say that the name of our planetary system is a string. So you see we're getting an error. If I hold the mouse over it and click on that error, it says class planetary system has no initializers, which means that it has no way to know what this string is when an instance of planetary system is created, which means that the person creating the class needs to initialize it with some sort of name. So we're going to create an initializer. I'm going to use the word init, okay, I-N-I-T, kind of like we saw in Python. And I'm going to put a name and then colon string. So the initializer takes one parameter, and that parameter is going to be a string. And then when it's initialized, I'm going to use the keyword self, again like we saw in Python. Self.name equals name. So self.name refers to the class constant name. This name refers to the name that's passed in a parameter. Okay? So we use self to kind of differentiate between the two of those. So when I create a planetary system, I'll have to give it a name at the time I create it. So our Space Adventure class is going to need to travel to a planetary system, so it'll need to instantiate an instance of the planetary system within the Space Adventure class itself. So I'm going to hit Command 1, go to Space Adventure, and at the top, I'm going to create a instance of a planetary system. So I'll let planetary system. Notice that's the instance name, it's not the class name because it's not capitalized, equal planetary system, parentheses. So you can see it's prompting me for a name. I'll go ahead and hit enter. And the name is the argument, it stays there, and I need to give it a name, solar system. When you're initializing an instance of a class, this variable name needs to stay within the parentheses. Okay, now that I have a planetary system defined, and a planetary system has a property, so far one property called name, I'm going to clean up my display introduction class a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take out the diameter, and instead of welcome to our solar system, I'm going to say welcome to the, and then I'm going to use my string interpolation to get the name of my variable, planetary system dot name. So now instead of hard coding the word solar system, I'm using the property of the planetary system I'm actually currently visiting. And I'm going to go ahead and, since I have an error here, I'm going to take out the last print statement. I'm going to take out the space. And now my display introduction only has 3 lines, but again, it's using the name property of the planetary system that I defined up top. Let's go ahead and just run this once, make sure everything works. And again, welcome to the solar system. It is using the correct property name. So right now we're using, in our display introduction, we're defining the number of planets here. It's probably better to encapsulate that information into another class somewhere, which we'll talk about coming up.